That's all for this edition of Dateline. We'll see you again Friday at 9, 8 Central. And of course, I'll see you each weeknight for NBC Nightly News. I'm Lester Holt. For all of us at NBC News, good night.
Holidays for the Homeless has arrived at Leachman Buick GMC. Help impact lives within your local community by donating essential items needed this winter season. Items needed most are hats, coats, gloves, blankets, and sleeping bags. Leachman will be serving as the drop-off location now through January 1st. Let's share the love with those who need it most this holiday season. Brought to you by Leachman Buick GMC.
Good evening and welcome into News 40 at 10. I'm Chris Allen with a preview of your forecast, and the rain is trying to work into the area. Live radar showing what looks to be some light rain pushing through the Bowling Green area, but I can tell you that a lot of this is not reaching the ground just yet. There's still too much dry air here at the surface, but back to the west, a lot of that is beginning to push through, and overnight we will start to see those showers continue into tomorrow. Temperatures right now upper 40s to mid 50s, and it looks like we're going to get a pretty good chance of rain overnight. I'll tell you more about that and the 7-day forecast coming up.
Good evening, I'm Noah Fairburn. Thanks for joining us tonight for News 40 at 10. Our top story tonight, a local Muslim woman files a lawsuit against several Warren County elected officials and county employees for what she says was a violation of her religious beliefs. In court documents, a woman identified only as Jane Doe and her attorneys, Council on American Islamic Relations, or CARE, say that following a domestic dispute arrest by Bowling Green police on April 6th around 4:30 p.m., Jane Doe was taken to the Warren County Regional Jail. Court documents state that during the jail intake process, Doe was forced to remove her hijab while taking a booking photo and during a strip search inside a private room. Jane Doe's attorneys say that after exiting the private room, Doe observed a television on the lobby wall that Doe says was a live stream of the private room she was just in. The court documents state that Doe believes both men and women in the lobby could see her fully nude while strip searched and without her hijab. Doe's attorneys say that being nude in public is a severe violation of Doe's religious beliefs that require her to wear clothes that cover her body in front of strange men and women. Doe's lawsuit aims to have Warren County Regional Jail implement a policy change prohibiting it and its officers from taking booking photographs of Muslim women without their hijab, and to order defendants to destroy the publicly available image of Doe from their database and any security footage that captured her without her hijab during her time at their facility. The lawsuit also goes on to say CARE urges Warren County Regional Jail and its officers from engaging in public, unnecessary strip searches of any individual. Following the release of CARE's lawsuit, the Warren County Jail and the Warren County Judge's Executive Office released this statement you see that says in part, Warren County admits there was an incident involving Jane Doe during intake at the Warren County Regional Jail. However, the complaint contains exaggerations and inaccuracies as to the events that took place. Warren County and its employees deny violating Jane Doe's constitutional rights and state that they acted to safeguard employees and other persons at the jail in a non-discriminatory manner. News 40 did search for April 6, 2023 booking photos on the Warren County Jail website and noticed that all photos for booking and release on April 6th were removed. News 40 will continue to follow any new developments on this story. Well, the Warren County Sheriff's Office responded to an injury collision at Nashville Road and Woodburn-Allen Springs Road this afternoon. Authorities say a woman pulled out in front of a dump truck heading towards Bowling Green on Nashville Road. The truck was not able to properly stop in time and hit the woman's car. The truck was eventually found on top of the car with the woman still inside. The woman was life-flighted away from the scene. A witness told News 40 the dump truck driver has no injuries. We will continue to follow the story and give you any updates as they become available. Well, as the new month begins tomorrow, we are all reminded that we are now just days away from the second anniversary of the devastating December 2021 tornadoes. This solemn fact was recognized in today's Team Kentucky update as Governor Andy Beshear announced that more than $52 million has been raised by the Team Western Kentucky Tornado Relief Fund. with more than 300 homes repaired and more than 150 home building projects complete with those funds. Governor Beshear will begin his second term as governor on Tuesday, December 12th, exactly 2 years since the deadly December tornadoes. His inauguration is themed Forward Together. With a great deal of development in the city and a recent rise in dangerous storms, Franklin, Kentucky has won a grant to begin the process of building a new storm shelter in the city. News 40 reporter Tucker Covey has more details.
Though it may not look like much more than trees at the moment, this spot will be the location of a new storm shelter for the residents of Franklin, Kentucky.
I think we're all hypersensitive with the recent storms that's been coming through the area the last few years, so it's on everybody's mind. So honestly, 3 or 4 years ago, we wouldn't even think about safe rooms, but with the recent storms, it becomes more on the front burner.
The shelter will go in amidst a great deal of new housing and pre-existing neighborhoods and is planned to be more of a multi-purpose structure, allowing the area to be further developed.
We've got a lot of people in that neighborhood that need a place to go in the event of severe weather. But these shelters are going to be big enough. They're proposed to be 300-person shelters. So that's a big enough shelter to also multi-purpose that building as a community center.
The hope is that it will make the community safer by giving many people a place to go when bad weather threatens their safety. It will also add a new public space for people in the area to enjoy.
With this opportunity in the safe room, we think it's the ideal part of town to place it, and then plus we can go ahead and develop that property for playground equipment and have more of a community atmosphere.
In Franklin, because local matters, Tucker Covey, WNKY News 40.
We all know cars can cost you a pretty penny, and even more so when something happens to go wrong. Well, tonight, News 40's Michael Ridgway has some tips on how to keep both you and your car safe this holiday season.
Specific things that you would want to check before it gets like down to freezing and potential snow and stuff. You want to check to make sure your tires are got good tread depth, you know, your pressure's right.
You never know what can happen, and as we head toward colder days, it's a good idea to make sure your vehicle is ready for any inclement weather.
Batteries fail at like extreme temperatures, so when it gets like really hot or really cold, you'll see a lot of battery failures.
It might not be a bad thought to keep some extra things in your car as well.
Typically everybody does, but make sure you have at least 2 cords to keep your phone charged, because if one goes bad, you want to have another one there.
If it happens to get cold out.
And inside your car, keep gloves, a scarf, a hat, a coat, and maybe even a blanket in case that you need to stay warm if your car breaks down and help can't get to you right away.
It might be a little taxing, but
don't let your tank get below half a tank when you're traveling and it's pending bad weather. Fill up every time it gets to half tank. Fill up. I know it's a headache, but it will really save you in the long run.
And whether it's hot or cold, it's never the wrong season to hit the mechanic.
And this is more like a year-round thing, but you would want to make sure your car's serviced up and running proper and stuff, because, I mean, a breakdown is, you know, pretty bad any day, but, you know, it's even worse when it's cold.
In Bowling Green, because local matters, Michael Ridgway, WNKY News 40.
That was a look at some of your top stories tonight. Now let's send things on over to Weather Chief Chris Allen for a look at our forecast.
Yeah, no, at least there's not snow falling here. There's not even rain falling here just yet. It's still going to take a little bit longer before we can saturate the atmosphere, but it's getting there. Here's a look at the past 4 hours radar satellite showing an increase in the moisture from our south and west. A lot of this, though, still not reaching the ground because I know that dew points are still pretty low, and you can see that. 20s and 30s. That means we're still trying to overcome a lot of dry air, and it's going to take maybe a couple of more hours before we'll start to see that. Sprinkles at best is probably what some of you are seeing right now. The better chance of rain is not going to happen until we get past midnight with that low tonight of 44 degrees. I'll talk about the rest of the 7-day forecast here in just a few minutes, but right now, Patrick is here with a preview of sports.
All right, thanks, Chris. We have plenty coming up in sports tonight. Hear from head coach Travis Hudson as the WNKY volleyball team officially gears up for the NCAA tournament tomorrow afternoon. team is set to take on Coastal Carolina in round 1, plus the Titans are preparing for the Colts this weekend. That's all in sports. Noah?
All right, Patrick. Well, the holiday season in downtown Bowling Green officially kicked off this evening as for the first time in a long time, the Depot is being lit up. News 40 reporter Carlisle Coppins tells us more.
More than 30 years ago, the L&N Depot held a lighting, and the historic tradition continues today with an even greater purpose.
While the big deal is to light the depot, our campaign was also about restoration and preserving our rail cars. The lighting was to mark the beginning of restoration. And so we are actually putting a twist on that and lighting it for Christmas.
The lighting is proving to be more than something to look at. It's also giving the community the chance to unite.
This is a celebration. And that's really what this is all about. Celebrating 30 years of the restoration of this building, the depot, the historic rail park and train museum, and this community that brought it back to life.
The ultimate goal is to continue to spread knowledge and help people learn the history and how Bowling Green became what it is today.
We retell stories because we think it's so important for not just the young generation, but even for the older generation to hear those stories and know those stories and remind people who we are and where we came from and how we got here.
In Bowling Green, because local matters, Carlisle Coppins, WNKY News 40.
Well, can you believe December starts tomorrow? I know I can't. Holidays can be full of fun and time with family. They can also be extremely stressful. In today's Health Minute, we take a look at ways to manage stress throughout the holiday season.
It's that time of year. The lights, the memories, the stress.
You might be excited about certain things that are happening and also stressed and overwhelmed. And both of those things can exist in you at the same time.
Licensed therapist Jody Baumstein says to first recognize what you feel, because you can do something about it. Help manage holiday stress by giving yourself permission to do things differently.
We often believe that because something has been done a certain way for a long time, we can't break that tradition. But the reality is sometimes something isn't going to work for us. And it doesn't mean that we'll never do it again, but maybe we don't do it this year.
If you're feeling overwhelmed, Baumstein says to set boundaries. Think about what's most important for your family. She says it's okay to say no.
A lot of times we don't want to do that. We feel like we don't really have a good reason or we don't want to upset someone. But the reality is that no can be a full sentence and you don't need to justify it or explain it.
Finally, Baumstein says to allow yourself to be in the moment because holidays can pass by quickly. Ground yourself.
You are literally using your senses to bring you into the present moment or the here and now. And that allows you to enjoy that time. Because what we don't want to happen is we plan all this great stuff, but then we get to the end of the holiday season and realize we don't really remember it.
Cases of RSV have been much higher and have started much earlier, according to Norton Healthcare. The virus tends to hit young children who virtually all catch the virus and represents the most common cause of hospitalization for children under 5 years old. Here is just some of what to look out for with your children.
The biggest things that I warn parents to watch out for would be that work of breathing that your child is experiencing. Are they breathing faster? Are they using their belly? You will see a child who has maybe a severe case of RSV using those extra muscles to breathe. They might be sucking in on their ribs.
Broadman says to never hesitate to contact your pediatrician when concerned about something, as this can greatly reduce the risk of childhood illnesses. Well, Ohio is the first state in the nation to report an outbreak of pediatric pneumonia cases similar to what's already sweeping China and parts of Europe. Meg Oliver has advice for parents to keep their children from getting sick.
In Warren County, north of Cincinnati, health officials have declared an outbreak of pneumonia in children. They say 145 kids have been diagnosed with the respiratory infection since August. The average age of these patients is 8 years old. The declaration comes as China is in the midst of its own outbreak. The U.S. is trying to avoid scenes like this. Hospital wards filled to capacity with doctors seeing a rise in several known respiratory illnesses. Today, the director of the CDC tried to ease fears, saying China is not dealing with a new virus like COVID.
We do not believe this is a new or novel pathogen. We believe this is all existing.
CBS News medical contributor Dr. Celine Gounder says while the outbreaks are similar, they're not connected.
In both cases, we're seeing an increase in the usual viruses and bacteria that we see circulating in the community every year.
To keep your child from getting a more serious lung infection like pneumonia, it is best to get kids shots against viruses like the flu, COVID, and RSV.
While these viruses may not kill children and infants, they do leave these kids more vulnerable both to viral pneumonia as well as bacterial pneumonia.
Doctors say in most cases, bacterial pneumonia can be treated with antibiotics and doesn't require hospitalization. And while some communities are seeing an uptick in cases, remember, we are in the midst of cold and flu season. Meg Oliver, CBS News, New York.
Well, still to come on News 40 at 10, the House is expected to vote Friday on whether to expel Republican George Santos. The latest details from Capitol Hill in just a bit. But first, Weather Chief Chris Allen has a full look at your weather. He may be turning a year older, but is the weather getting any colder out there? We'll find out after the break.
The competition is on.
This is nerve-wracking.
Do you have what it takes for Jeopardy?
Weeknights at 6 on NBC 40.
I'm Ashley Wilson. Here's what's coming up tomorrow on News 40 Sunrise. Find out how you can take a look at historic Christmas homes this holiday season. Plus, we'll make sure to start your weekend with a smile in this week's edition of Feel Good Friday. These stories only on News 40 Sunrise.
Toyota-thon is on. Now's the time to get an exciting new Toyota. Like Camry Hybrid, RAV4, Tundra, and more.
How did you...
Magic.
Toyota is now offering $1,000 APR cash on any new Tundra Gas SR, SR5, and limited models. Plus, you get 2 years no-cost maintenance.
Come in today.
Toyota. Let's go places.
Is your search for a new home on hold because of high interest rates and high monthly payments? Jago Homes has your solution with a low 4.99 fixed interest rate and no energy bills for 2 years. You'll enjoy open, spacious living, and your family will be comfortable year-round with exclusive Energy Smart technology. Learn why a new Jago home is more affordable than you think at jagohomes.com. Because life is too precious to be put on hold.
I'm attorney Deborah Brose. I am committed to my clients across South Central Kentucky. But don't just take it from me. If you have any trouble receiving Social Security benefits, call our office today for a free consultation.
Watch live coverage of the 2023 Glasgow Christmas Parade. See the lights, the floats, and the magic of the holidays. Saturday night on WNKY, CBS 40, and NBC 40.
WNKY News 40 is always on at WNKY.com.
We're back with Weather Chief Chris Allen. Chris, I know I've kid with you a lot today, but I do genuinely want to wish you a happy birthday.
Well, thank you.
You've been a great mentor to
that.
me in our time together here at News 40.
Well,
so
thanks. I appreciate
happy birthday,
that.
Man.
Thanks. No, I do. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Just remember, you're going to be old like me one day.
I know.
So
that's not for a while, though.
And I'll be going, Yeah, I'll get you back. All right. As I turn up my hearing aid. Here's a look at the almanac for today. We had a high of 63, and that felt pretty good. Even with the clouds, we got up to that good temperature, very good. In fact, well above the average of 54. 31 is where we started this morning, 34 the average. We are way, way, way behind on precipitation, the rainfall. Now woefully behind at 6 1/3 inches for the year to date. We're going to make up very little of that starting tonight and then through the day tomorrow. So don't expect too much out of this system. 54 right now, south wind at 6, humidity just 38%, and the dew point at 29, telling me that the atmosphere is still very dry here at the surface. Up above us, yeah, we've got some rain coming in. You see that on the radar, but it's just not reaching the ground yet, but it will. but it's going to be light for that reason. There's just a lot of dry air to overcome. This is not going to be a system that comes in, dumps a lot of rain, hangs around for a while, and helps us make up some of that deficit. It's not going to be that. Even though the chance of rain is 100% for overnight tonight and early tomorrow, then about 80% through the midday tomorrow, those numbers do not mean how hard it will rain or how long it will rain. That just means the coverage of rain. Yes, that's what the percentages mean when you hear chance of rain. So you've got a good chance of rain tonight and tomorrow. Then it starts to slack off a bit as we go through the weekend, but it's not going to rain all that much. We're going to get a little bit, and that's about it. Potential rainfall through the next, say, 24 hours. Quarter inch near the border, maybe a half inch closer you get to the Ohio River, and then the better rain chances are going to be to the west and northwest, where you could get an inch or so. Now the rains are already starting to begin here in Bowling Green. I can hear some of that on the roof now. It's mostly light rain at first. Then we'll start to get a little puddles around the area and on the roadways and interstates. Be careful, that's how we get hydroplaning going on and accidents. You may think it's not that wet, but still, you got to be careful. Overnight tonight, the better rain chances, and then tomorrow morning is when we start to see the rain slacking off a bit. Here comes the cold front and the area of low pressure moving north. Here we go into tomorrow evening. I think we're good for the Smiths Grove Christmas Parade, which starts at 6 o'clock. And then as we get into Friday night, early Saturday, rain chances will be gone for a time. But then here comes wave number 2 that will bring us more rain as we get into Sunday, as that low pressure system passes right on by to the east. So tonight, breezy with rain coming in, 44. Then tomorrow, we'll see showers through about midday through the afternoon and then tapering off with a high of 62. More showers coming in late Saturday night into early Sunday, upper 50s to around 60 after that. Beautiful weather for the beginning of next week, but cooler. Highs upper 40s to mid 50s. We'll be back with more News 40 at 10 in just a minute.
Feels good to be home. It's the final days of Black Friday at Ashley. Hurry in because everything is on sale and it's your last chance to get up to 75% off holiday hot buys or get 0% interest for 60 months with no down payment. Ashley's Black Friday sale ends Monday.
Trapped with in-laws this holiday season?
Did you hear the owl?
Escape to any of our 2,400 locations with the Planet Fitness Black Card. Also bring a friend for free and get access to the Black Card Spa. Just $1 down, $24.99 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends November 30th.
Holidays for the Homeless has arrived at Leachman Buick GMC. Help impact lives within your local community by donating essential items needed this winter season. Items needed most are hats, coats, gloves, blankets, and sleeping bags. Leachman will be serving as the drop-off location now through January 1st. Let's share the love with those who need it most this holiday season. Brought to you by Leachman Buick GMC.
Watch live coverage of the 2023 Glasgow Christmas Parade. See the lights, the floats, and the magic of the holidays. Saturday night on WNKY, CBS 40, and NBC 40.
Grab some lunch and make an impact. Join WNKY News 40 for Food Truck Fridays every week at Tidball's parking lot. This week features South Cow to benefit the Boys and Girls Club. See the full lineup at WNKY.com.
It's time to tighten up, South Central Kentucky.
WNKY is your official home for the Tennessee Titans.
Watch our games plus the Coach Mike Vrabel Show and Titans All Access.
Only on WNKY News 40 because local matters.
Ashley's Black Friday mattress sale ends soon. Get 0% interest for 60 months on top mattress brands. Plus, it's your last chance to get a free adjustable base with any qualifying mattress purchase of $9.99 or more. Black Friday ends soon at Ashley.
New York Republican George Santos remains defiant ahead of Friday's vote to expel him from Congress. Santos, who faces nearly 24 federal charges, accused his fellow House members of bullying him and wasting the people's time. Scott McFarland reports even if Santos is booted, his problems are far from over.
I'm not trying to be arrogant On the eve of a vote to expel embattled New York Republican George Santos, his colleagues blistered him.
Curious to know. George Santos has built his persona, his personal and political life, on a foundation of lies.
But Santos refuses to go quietly.
Are you reconsidering resigning ahead of this to avoid any spectacles?
Swarmed at a news conference outside the Capitol, Santos argued he's the victim of political bullying.
It's all theater. It's theater for the cameras. It's theater for the microphones.
But it's some of his fellow Republicans leading the charge to boot him.
He's not running for re-election. Why not just let him finish his term?
Yeah, we are to govern ourselves, and he has manufactured an entire persona to defraud voters of the honest choice to have a representative.
Santos has pleaded not guilty to federal fraud and conspiracy charges, accused of fleecing his donors using their credit cards on more than $40,000 of purchases. And a damning House Ethics Committee review found he also allegedly used campaign cash for Botox, resort trips, and rent. Santos refused again today to comment on those allegations, but said his expulsion would inflame an already gridlocked Congress.
Oh, it's going to be a circus moving forward.
Leaders of both parties say they won't twist political arms.
Are you urging your fellow Democrats to vote one way or another tomorrow?
We recognize that this is an issue of conscience.
Congressman Santos would be only the 6th person ever to be expelled from the U.S. House, but for that to happen, 2/3 of those voting would have to vote yes to expel him. It's unclear how many people will show up on a Friday to actually vote, but supporters of this measure say they're confident they have the votes. Scott McFarland, CBS News, the Capitol.
When we come back, Patrick Carey is in with a look at your sports.
This is how it feels to do more with less asthma, thanks to Dupixent. Dupixent is not for sudden breathing problems. It's an add-on treatment for specific types of moderate to severe asthma and can help improve lung function for better breathing in as little as 2 weeks. Dupixent helps prevent asthma attacks and can even reduce or eliminate oral steroids. Imagine that. Dupixent can cause allergic reactions that can be severe. Get help right away if you have rash, chest pain, worsening shortness of breath, tingling, or numbness in your limbs. Tell your doctor about new or worsening joint aches and pain or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines, including steroids, without talking to your doctor. Who knows what you can do when you do more with less asthma? Ask your doctor about Dupixent, the most prescribed biologic for asthma.
How does your Santa relax? Rocking? Maybe he glides. Or is he a reclining Santa? Whatever makes him happy, Ford's Furniture has it in our huge selection of recliners and accent chairs. On sale now at Ford's Furniture in Bowling Green.
This holiday season, recharge with the Planet Fitness Black Card for just $1 down and $24.99 a month. So instead of fighting a stranger over a T-Rex, bring a friend for free and work out on the TRX. Instead of freezing in line for a deal, relax with some Hydra Massage feels. Instead of in-laws in your face.
Did you hear the owl?
Get some space at any of our 2,400 locations with the PF Black Card. Just $1 down, $24.99 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends November 30th.
I'm waking up my day. So let's get it started. Turn it up, turn it on. Keep the morning moving right along. Yeah, I'm waking up my day. News 40 sunrise way. I'm waking up my day. WNKY. Yeah, when you want the voice to get you out the door. I'm waking up my day. That is 40 sunrise way.
Weekday morning starting at 6. WNKY News 40 is always on at WNKY.com.
Welcome into sports. The WK volleyball team is preparing for the first round of the NCAA tournament. The team is heading to Knoxville and taking on Coastal Carolina in round 1. If the Tops can get the win, they will face off against the winner of Tennessee and High Point on Saturday. WKU will take on Coastal for the second time in program history. The first match going to Carolina. For head coach Travis Hudson, he is proud of this group and, of course, the history of the program.
Excited. I mean, this is the week you work for all season long. Our 16th NCAA tournament's pretty remarkable to think about. The work started in January to replace kids like Katie Eisenbarger and Lauren Matthews and And to be sitting here, you know, back in the NCAA tournament, just excited. I'm excited because our team is playing well, and I think our team is confident, and so I'm looking forward to this first challenge.
Well, the WNKY basketball team was in action last night hosting Campbellsville inside of Diddle Arena. The Tops were looking to bounce back after a tough weekend in Canada and did just that, beating the Tigers 101-77. Christian Lander led the way last night with a career-high 22 points and 5 rebounds. 6 different Hilltoppers scored double-digit points. Here is what head coach Steve Lutz had to say after the win.
My message to them was I'm proud of them for buying in to their teammates and to what the coaching staff has talked about and preached all week, and we need to continue it, obviously.
Well, WNKY wasn't the only in-state game last night. The Louisville Cardinals hosted the Bellarmine Knights. It was a slow start for the Cards, but the team dominated in the second half, posting 51 points to secure their 4th win this season. The team has now matched the amount of wins this season that they had all of last year. Here's what head coach Kenny Payne had to say about this team compared to last year's.
A year ago was very hard for all of us, and you can see that we're a better team, and we're not even close to how good we can be. We got a lot of growth to do. We got a lot of growing up to do, but we have the ingredients to be a pretty decent team.
Well, the college football regular season has officially come to a close in 2023. The Tops, Cards, and Cats are now all waiting to see what bowl game they will play in this season. Louisville will play in the ACC Championship this weekend against Florida State with a New Year's 6 bowl game on the line. The Tops and Cats are both 7-5 going into the selection weekend. We will know more about postseason play for these programs next week. And finally, the Tennessee Titans are back in action this upcoming weekend. The Titans are set to take on their division rivals, the Indianapolis Colts, for the 2nd time this year. Tennessee is coming off a win over the Panthers and looking to string together a win streak. Quarterback Will Levis understands this time of year you see the AFC South for the 2nd time.
This is the interesting part of the year when you get to play those second divisional games and knowing that we talk about it's always going to be a street fight, you know, that we're coming to play our best ball. We know each other as teams, so it just makes everything that much more important.
Well, that's a look at sports. We'll be right back.
I'm attorney Deborah Brose. I am committed to my clients across South Central Kentucky. But don't just take it from me. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I can help. Call our office today for a free consultation.
Summer skies, they warm up everything. Then fall comes around, and you know it's getting near. Christmas is my favorite time.
Experience so much Christmas the way Santa does.
Car wreck? When you get Hughes & Coleman, it can make a big difference. Here's what I mean. Insurance offer, $3,000. Our result, $156,000. Insurance offer, $0. Our result, $385,000. Insurance offer, $300,000. Our result, $1 million. After an accident, if you want to get the money you deserve, get Hughes & Coleman and get it done. Call 800-800-4600.
Start your weekend off right with WNKY News 40 Sunrise. Feel Good Friday showcases stories that are sure to put a smile on your face. Feel Good Friday, brought to you by J.C. Kirby & Son.
MeTV is making a list, and you can check it twice. Go to MeTV.com for the full list of our very merry MeTV holiday programming.
Happy holidays from WNKY MeTV 40. WNKY News 40 is always on at WNKY.com.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Chris Allen. Come on, Flush. Happy birthday to you.
Very nicely done.
I had no idea where that was going. But
I didn't either, but sometimes it's best to just go right off the dome.
Y'all were a little pitchy, dog, but other than that, you're
we've been rehearsing this for weeks. I don't know.
Sure we have.
Yeah, well. All right. On that note, 44 tonight, breezy with rain likely. And then tomorrow we'll see showers. As you can see, we're already seeing some wet streets around the area. We've had a nice little shower. 62 will be our high tomorrow, but hopefully all the rain will come to an end before any parades.
All right, Chris. Well, that does it for tonight's edition of News 40 at 10. Join us back here at 6 a.m. for sunrise. Have a good night.